You know, when you walk into some grand, famous building, you're usually looking up at the amazing architecture, right? But what about the stuff you can't see? The brilliant systems humming away behind the walls, making everything so comfortable. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of those invisible geniuses.
Okay, let's set the scene. Imagine it's the 1930s. New York City is just absolutely buzzing. Rockefeller Center is the talk of the town. I mean, it's the symbol of the future, with brand new tech like escalators and that iconic ice rink. And the crown jewel of it all, the spectacular Radio City Music Hall, the biggest indoor theater on the planet at the time.
So this brings up a huge engineering challenge. You've got this palace of entertainment, this massive, cavernous space. How on earth do you keep it warm? We're talking about a place that can hold over 6,000 people, with a giant stage and multiple levels. It's a real puzzle. Well, the answer couldn't be just any old solution. It had to be something totally new, something revolutionary. And it all came from the mind of one incredible engineer, a name you've probably never heard, but whose work, trust me, you rely on all the time. This brings us to the man who cracked the code. So let's meet the brilliant mind from Nashville who brought the warmth to this American icon. And here he is, David Nelson Crosthwait Jr. He was an absolutely exceptional African-American electrical and mechanical engineer, an inventor, and a writer. And you gotta remember, this was an era with huge racial barriers, but his genius, it was just too powerful to be ignored. And his path to excellence was like a rocket ship. Born in Nashville to a family of educators, he got a full ride to Purdue for mechanical engineering. He gets his master's, and by his 20s, he's already the director of research for a major company. I mean, that's just an unbelievable trajectory for anyone, especially back then.
But Crosthwait wasn't just some smart guy managing a team. Oh no. He was an inventor, a truly prolific one. So much so that people often call him the father of modern HVAC.
Just how prolific? Let's look at the numbers. In the United States alone, he racked up 39 patents. And this was for everything, from the thermostat controls we all recognize to totally new ways to refrigerate things. But wait, there's more. On top of that, he had another 80 patents internationally. That's a grand total of 119 patents, all in temperature-regulating tech. This guy's ideas weren't just big in America, they were changing the game all over the world. Okay, so what was his masterpiece? It was this thing called the variable vacuum system. And the idea is, honestly, pure genius. Think about it. Normally, water boils at a certain temperature, right? Well, he figured if you create a vacuum, you can make water boil at a much lower temperature. That means you can create steam using way less fuel, and you get this incredibly precise control over the heat. It's a total game changer. And that is why his system was the perfect, and I mean perfect, solution for Radio City. It used less fuel, which saved money. It gave them pinpoint temperature control. It was literally designed to solve the exact heating problems you find in massive, sprawling buildings. It was the missing piece of the puzzle. But here's the thing. Inventing world-changing systems, that was just one part of his story. Crosthwait didn't just play in the industry, he basically wrote the rulebook for it. Yeah, seriously. He didn't just build the systems, he was the guy authoring the manuals, the guides, the standards, and the codes that would define the future of HVAC for decades to come. When other engineers needed to know how to do something, they were probably reading his work. So his impact clearly didn't stop when he left the lab. Let's talk about how he cemented his legacy, not just as an inventor, but as a teacher and a true trailblazer. You'd think after a career like that, he'd want to kick back and relax, right? Nope. After retiring in 1969, he went right back to his alma mater, Purdue University, to teach. He literally shared decades of his real-world, groundbreaking knowledge with a whole new generation of engineers. And the industry he helped build? They absolutely recognized his greatness. In 1971, he got one of the highest honors you can get. He became the very first African-American Fellow of ASHRAE. That was a massive, landmark moment, cementing his status as a true pioneer. And the recognition just kept on coming. He was also a Fellow of the American Society for the Advancement of Science, a member of the American Chemical Society. The list goes on. And in 1975, his beloved Purdue gave him an honorary doctorate, a perfect tribute to a career that reached the absolute highest levels of science and engineering. So, from the comfort of a huge theater to maybe even the thermostat on your wall, David Crosthwait's work is in there somewhere, quietly making our world better. His story is just such a powerful reminder that behind almost everything we take for granted, there's a brilliant mind we may have never even heard of. Which kind of makes you wonder, right? Whose invisible genius is shaping your world right now?